that I am only reminded about them today. But again, it's a message that is good to be good. So thank you, and God bless you all. Let me respectfully stand on already established protocol and to say that distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and fellow honorable members of the House of Representatives, elect and ranking. I don't call them new members in any way. I call them members elect. Because if I was carried away by the name new member, all the achievements mentioned here would not have been possible. I'm therefore deeply honored by your presence here today. You're all sincerely welcome for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here with me today. The House of Representatives is supposed to be embodiment of our nation's democracy. It is supposed to be an arena where members elected by the people of Nigeria, representing religion, tribes, and various interests negotiate the conditions for nationalhood and to set the terms of our nation's development. Therefore, we should not take the House of Representatives for granted. And we should take it equally very important. For too long, the story of Nigeria has been a tale of promise, unfulfilled and hope deferred. For too long, we have postponed the hard decision upon which progress depends. We can no longer afford, therefore, to fall short of the best expectation and for our country to prosper. We can no longer take it for granted that things will get better or that the bill of our mistake will be overlooked. In Nigeria, it is to survive and to go forward. And to change the way we do our business of government, we must therefore have a presiding officers in the National Assembly that mean well for the people of this country. The work we do in the House of Representatives can yield more or vital fulfillment for all Nigerians. The House of Representatives can be a place from where we launch the lifeboats that carry our people from poverty to prosperity, from insecurity to safety, and from fear to comfort, and from running for the office of the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. I do know in my heart of heart that I will do the best to the people of Nigeria. It has been the honor of my life to serve the people of Panshinkanke Kanam Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives and to serve the Nigerian people in the 9th House of Representatives. I have had the opportunity in the course of serving to observe and learn from my most senior colleagues in the House. It has been a privilege to serve under the distinguished leadership of my boss, Right Honorable Femi Hakim Bajabia Mila, and to learn from his experience and expertise. I'm grateful for his example of leadership and service. I thank him for his service to our nation, and I look forward to building on his achievement in office. Fellow Nigerians, there are those who, from moment of their birth, seems destined to hold high in politics, public service and government. There are those whose paths to leadership in commerce and business were carved before they were born. I was not one of those people. I was born in a small village of Gum in Gagdi ward of Kanam local government area of Plateau State. My father was a religious teacher and my mother kept the home. There wasn't much to keep. Ours was a story of survival against the desperate odds. My parents worked hard, and so did I. So I do. Everybody else, but was never enough. Like millions of Nigerians, our world was small. Our lives were hard and often short, and our dreams were limited by the desperate need to make it through each day. Education saved my life. Really, education saved my life. With education and the help and guidance of my mentors along the way, I made it out of Gum and I made something of myself. My public service is inspired by the hard lesson of my own life. Education and opportunity saved my life, and I am determined to ensure that millions of others can be saved just like I was. This has been at the heart of my public service and will continue to be so. When the 10th House of Representatives convene in a few weeks, I expect a lot of things to happen. But here is a little story I want to tell you. I want Nigerians watching us to know that there can be anything. God can make the impossible to be possible. I was born on the 5th of November 1980. I never knew in my wildest imagination that I will stand before Nigerians to address Nigeria in my capacity as a representative of the people of Panjshir, Kanke Kanam Federal Constituency, let alone addressing Nigerians as one of the persons that wish to be their own servant in the capacity of being the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I was privileged to leave my village that have no tar roads, no electricity, no drinking water. Only one borehole existed in my village. I left the village on the 4th of April 1997. It means, therefore, that prior to 1997, Right Honorable Yusuf Gagdi have never known how tar road look like, let alone electricity. But this is not even the story. The story that led to my relocation from my village to the local government headquarters is something that I want Nigerians to listen to, so that they will know that there is hope for Nigeria. My mother was sick. She almost lost her left breast with an infection that the local doctor in our village said that he will take off her left breast. I had gathered and put together 27 bundles of firewood with a small cassava farm that I used to assist my father in feeding my siblings. I was a boy in one of the person that had a grinding machine where he ground maize, millet, and corn. In the evening, the remnants of the maize, millet, and corn that pour on the ground is what I will regrind and take to my mother to feed my siblings. I sold the 7 bundles of firewood, sold my small cassava farm to pay for SSDE. But I said to my mom, they will not take your left breast. I prefer to defer my academics to make sure you are alive. I took her on a bicycle to Dengi Kanam, the local government headquarters, where in the Cottage Hospital they discovered it wasn't a cancer, it was an infection. In 32 days, she was treated and discharged. Today, she's alive. If there is any achievement of my dint of hard work that I am proud of, is that commitment of 27 bundles of firewood and small cassava farm that saved the life of my mother. I am who I am because of my mother and my father. So if I come through that way and defy academics, went back to the village in 1997 to farm granules, and again registered for SSC in 1999. Got admission in ABU Zaria, but because I had no money, I decided to go to a teacher training institute, College of Education, Panjshir, an institution that today I have funded and sponsored a private members bill that transformed it to a status of Federal University of Education. It means, therefore, that there is hope for Nigeria. But the greater hope for this country is the president we have. The president we have, and the president that will be sworn in. I know President Muhammadu Buhari as a greater Democrat who have tolerated a lot and who have managed the so many rotten pages of Nigeria and took Nigeria to where it is today. I am confident that this our president-elect, a talent hunter, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju, will take Nigeria to the promised land. I am optimistic that our president-elect is a talent hunter, and I declare to all Nigerians that Asiwaju will find one of the best talent in Yusuf Gagdi to partner with and take Nigeria to the promised land. I have my plans that will be inaugurated today, but I do not only produce the plan to inaugurate what I will do as a speaker if elected. I came with a compendium of my achievements in the last 3 years as a member representing Panjshir Kanam Federal Constituency. Why did I do this? So that members-elect will see what I have done as a member representing a constituency within 3 years. It will convince them to know that my plan is not just a plan. It will be a plan just like I had a blueprint as a member, and the blueprint come to pass. My plan shall come to pass if elected as a Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. I'm not here to talk against anyone. I'm here to talk about myself. I have 4 or 5 reasons, as some of them were put together, why I want to be Speaker. It is all put together here. The one that is not here is my personal life. But the Gagdi plan of our slogan of One Nation Forward Together is quite comprehensive, built under 2 sections. As a teacher who have NC in Social Studies double measure. As a teacher who have a first degree in Economics Education. As a teacher who have masters in Conflict Management and Peace Studies. As a teacher who have masters in Intelligence and Global Securities. As a teacher who is a PhD in Waiting in Security and Strategic Studies. I developed my plan for the 10th House of Representatives myself. So I will not open it. I will talk to it as a scholar. It has 2 components. One is the reform of the House of Representatives. What do I mean by the reform of the House of Representatives? And 2, plan that I will implement as a Speaker is public sector priorities, public policy priorities. Under the reform of the House of Representatives, I intend, if given me the mandate, I shall reform the House of Representatives by providing a legislative agenda. Yes, Mr. Speaker, Femi Bajabi and Mila Hakim have a legislative agenda. But I want, if giving me your mandate, as part of the reform I intend to undertake as a Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives, is to have a bill that will legitimize legislative agenda. Or in other words, to have a standing committee in the House rules of the House of Representatives that recognize committee on legislative agenda. The committee on legislative agenda shall be vested with a lot of responsibility of providing framework for identifying legislative priorities. I will not be a speaker that will be tolerating bills. I will be a speaker that have that standing committee that will have the objective, what we intend to achieve as a 10th House of Representatives. I will reform our oversight. Gagdi has already said something. At times I'm like him. Don't mind him anyway. And don't mind our tenses as politicians. The most important thing is to communicate and for you to understand what we communicate. So I doff my cap for you, my dear brother, Honorable Gagdi Kazaure. The oversight responsibility is part of the reform I want to undertake. It is the constitutional mandate of Parliament to oversee the implementation of laws, formulation of government policies, and superintending over the expenditure of funds from public posts of government. Why are we failing? Why is it that we don't have tar road to my village, Gagdi? Why is it that we don't have hospitals across Nigeria? Why is it that our educations are not working? Is it because we don't have the natural resources and the money to provide for those things? The answer is no. It is because the Parliament have failed in its responsibility of discharging sincere oversight commitments. If we oversight the executive the way it is supposed to be oversight, projects implemented the way they are supposed to be implemented, definitely we will have a better Nigeria. I assure Nigerians, and I assure Mr. President-elect, that Yusuf Gagdi will provide that robust support for him to succeed in ensuring Nigeria is transformed as one of the best world economies. I am confident that President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu have the capacity to do that, but only with the support of people that mean well for him in his government. And I'm sure I'm one of those that mean well for Nigerian people. In addition to the oversight engagement, where we need to strengthen it, the House of Representatives, the crafters of Nigeria's constitution, knew what they were doing to say we should have a House of Representatives. The entire Nigerians cannot supervise ministries, agencies, and departments of government. That is why few of us privileged to be chosen constitutionally, we are donated with the responsibility of doing that. Therefore, we don't need to hide what we oversight to Nigerians. I will come up with a public website in the National Assembly that each committee's oversight will be publicized for Nigerians to see what agencies and departments of government are doing to be able to hold chairmen of committees and representatives of theirs accountable for what they are elected to do. I will, if given me the mandate, do a lot by considering different approach to establishment bills where it takes attention of the House of Representatives. My blueprint, my manifesto, called Gagdi Plan, One Nation Forward Together, will alter the way our voting procedures is. I have seen something in amendment of the INEC, Independent National Electoral Law, as well as the petroleum industry bill during the voting. It created problem. If the House of Representatives is really the house for the Nigerian people, nothing stops us from adopting a unique way of voting by recording our decisions electronically. I will be the speaker that will make your representative fellow Nigerians vote publicly for you to know whether they vote for or against any policy and decisions of government. That will increase transparency in the conduct of the affairs of governance in Nigeria. I will structure our debates where the House of Representatives will not be bipartisan. I will tolerate views of the minority parties. I will respect constructive decisions. I will allow the House to be the 10th Assembly in which the NNPP member, the Labour Party member, the PDP member, the APC member, the Young People Party member will debate based on merit, not based on political party sentiment, tribal sentiment, and or religious sentiment. I will be that speaker. I will ensure that laws that are friendly to women, youths, and people with disability are priorities of the 10th House of Representatives. The youths and the women contribute over 70 to 80% of election activities. The young people of Nigeria, politicians use us as political talks. Some politicians use us as vote canvassers. Some politicians use us as a security of their ballot box. But when it comes to sharing position, the youths are left behind. That is why the second reason why I want to be the speaker is if we have a father and a father who is a Democrat, who have transformed Lagos from one of the bad economy to one of the most digital and sophisticated economy in Africa, above 50, Vice President of Nigeria above 50, Senate President obviously above 50, we will not want as youths who have contributed immensely to the democratization process, who have protected your ballot boxes, who have been in some instances used as talks to ensure electoral victory. I think it is time for the youths of this country to take their destinies in their own hands. I'm sure you have heard the young men that have spoken here. We will be grateful to Asiwaju in searching for talent to allow the youth occupy the number 4 position in the Nigerian political hierarchy. I think that is fair if that is done to us. I want to call on the youth of this country to support me, to show the elders that we can do better than what they are doing, to show the elders that it is time to begin to train and groom leadership, to show the elders that we need the reward for our commitment in the survival of democracy in Nigeria. The third reason is not far from what I have been saying, not as a young man, not as my biography, being someone like I have said, that I do not only read Nigeria's problem in the course of my studies, I am a victim of the problems. I have passed through the problems. And that is why I have gray hair at 42 years old. I will not wish for any young man to pass through what I have passed through. And that is why from State Assembly till this moment, I keep on paying that NECO, WAEC, JAM, SSCE to all the public, private, missionary, and all other secondary schools within my federal constituencies of Panshin, Kanke, Kanam Federal Constituency. That is why in the last 3 years or 4, I have provided borehole water in all the 426 polling units of my constituency. And that is why, because of the respect I have for my parents, I have built a palace to all the 22 third-class traditional rulers of my constituency, which each amounted to about 134 million. I respect them. And that is why I have supported the people living with disability by providing way movement to them. And that is why I want to be a servant leader, someone that is willing to serve the people of Nigeria. Finally, my last reason. Our president-elect, I am following on his footsteps as someone that is elected based on his potentials, based on his antecedents, based on what he means for Nigeria. I cannot remember as an APC member where Mr. President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was endorsed as a consensus candidate for our party. No. It was only Zone 2, the southern part of Nigeria. I give my respect to the northern governors who came out at that time to say that the North have produced a president for 8 years. In the spirit of justice, peace, equity, and fairness, the presidency should be zoned to the southern Nigeria, and it stopped there. It is the delegates that Nigerians under APC gave them the power to choose who they want, that in their wisest decision decided to vote for our leader and our president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want that same spirit of justice, equity, and fairness to play in the elections of the 10th Speaker of the House of Representatives. It is ideal that we have 6 geopolitical zones. In the north, we have 3, the northwest, the northeast, and the north central. History has shown that the northwest have had Gali Umar Na'aba, Salisu Buhari, Aminu Masari, and Tambol as speaker. History has shown that the northeast have had our brother, Right Honorable Dogara as speaker. But from 1999 till date, the North Central had no single speaker in the history of democratic process. I urge our president-elect, who is a talent hunter, who is a Democrat, to support the party to zone the speakership to the north. And in the same spirit of justice, equity, and fairness that was shown in the presidential election of 2023, let it be zoned to the north, and let the North Central that have never produced speaker from 1999 till date be given that privilege of justice, equity, and fairness to produce speaker. I am not converging for supporters, lobbyists. That is why I hardly lobby the way other people lobby. I want you, the members-elect, to endorse me and to see prospect in me as your Speaker of the 10th Assembly. But I want the leaders of this nation to, what is good for the good is equally good for the gander. Let the speakership be zoned to the north. And just like delegates of APC, we are allowed to choose who they want. Let the North Central, let the members-elect be allowed to choose whosoever they feel he has the capacity to deliver dividends of democracy and good governance to the Nigerian people. If this is done, I think fairness is done. I urge us all to look at Nigeria and to support our dear President, Muhammadu Buhari, to finish and end his tenure well, and to pray. I have seen that the President-elect needs prayers to be surrounded by sincere and honest people that will give him genuine advice for the transformation of Nigeria. We should pray for him, for God to give him the wisdom and enablement to do justice to the people of this country. To you, my colleagues, members-elect, I didn't affirm as a member. I did that because I want to remember that one day I will ask for my stewardship. I did agree to hold the Holy Quran and swear during my inauguration because I don't want to fail. If you want to affirm, note that there is a day of judgment, that our stewardship, the suffering of each member that either voted you or do not vote for you, God will ask you one day, how have you defended and protected them as their representative? Let us open our eyes, to borrow from the words of my brother, open our eyes but to listen. That is what Budaji Kazaure said, and you are laughing. I told you will laugh too because I'm not Budaji Kazaure in any case. So I call on you to be fair, to be honest, to try and do your utmost best by ensuring that we elect a leader that will help this country. I will continue to be a law-abiding party member, just like I have ever been. I will be an advocate of justice, equity, and fairness. I will not be deterred by any act that seems to undermine the principle of justice, the principle of equity, and the principle of fairness. My manifesto, therefore, is, I'm presenting it to you today. It's articulate, that talk about internal reforms and a lot of policies like I have earlier summarized in the course of my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not conclude this speech without reminding us that 24 years ago, since the return of democracy, the Nigerian people have rightly come to expect more from their parliamentary representative. The ability of the House of Representatives to effectively operations and unite us as one nation under God. Let us together make real the dream of one nation moving forward. I thank you once again, and I thank you all for being here today and for watching me from wherever you are, here at home in Nigeria or abroad. May God bless you. May His grace protect all of you, and may His mercies guide all of us. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.